Hello all. This is slightly different for me because it's a rare time in the chess world where it's candidates time. Let's see who's going to challenge the mighty Magnus Carlsen. Now, obviously, like any chess player, I'm massively excited about this. So if you're not excited, then you're not a chess player. Simple as that. Now, I wouldn't normally do something like this, but it's going to lead on to something else that I'm going to try and do on the weekend. So I thought I'd put this in. I'm going to put who I think is going to win the candidates, and even though potentially, like last time, there'll be a big bunch just behind the winner, all on the same score, I'm going to try and do first to eighth, or actually going to do it in reverse order. I'm going to do eighth to first, and we build up to who I think is going to win, which may not be such a big shock, but maybe you'll be surprised by who I put in eighth and seventh place. Anyway, I'm going to talk through each person as I come along, and at the end I'm going to show my guy and him in action. I've picked out 3 games where there's a common theme, which he's been absolutely superb the last year or so. So it's going to start this Saturday. I'll be around my friend's house, and I'm going to do, I hope, some Patzer commentary on it. I'm not going to be great in the openings, but I'm going to tell you how a Patzer would see how these super GMs are playing, and the ideas that I think, and I might get lucky and actually pick on one of their ideas too, but we'll see. Anyway, as you can see, there's a little countdown here, the candidates tournament on the left of my face, and we've got a little time to go, so I'm going to start with why I'm doing this for a start, because when I did one of my online Twitch live broadcasts, someone clipped me saying this, so this is why I'm doing it, so just bear with. This is quite loud, so you have to bear with. How do I get rid of this? I can't. Okay, back it goes. Grischuk, mental. He's got no chance. If you're going to go any Russian, you have to go Kramnik. So, as you can see, I've already said that Grischuk apparently has no chance, and I stick with that. I still don't think he's got a chance, and I'll explain why when I get to him. But since that clip, thanks whoever clipped that, got posted on Twitch, I forgot about Karyakin. I mean, he's obviously got a better chance than Kramnik, but again, I'm going to talk about that as well, where I think he should end up. So, without too much more chat, I'm going to just go into each player one after the other and their rankings that I think they'll finish at. And we shall start with 8th place. And in 8th place, yes, this is a shock, but I think it's going to be Wesley So. Let me just talk through what I've come up with as to why I think that's going to happen. He qualified through a rating average. Now, if Wesley had qualified for this tournament 2 years ago, perhaps we would have had a different challenger for the last World Championship match. The guy was on absolute fire, his rating breaking 2800 and everyone fearing him. He went on a run of 67 unbeaten games, and that was taking him most of the elite tournaments, including a win at the London Chess Classic and Tata Steel Masters, amongst others. Like Fabi, a little younger, he switched allegiance and went to the all-conquering US of A and improved his current form to be top of the USA ranking and is actually world number 4. Unfortunately, once he lost that unbeaten streak, he has not been the same player. He qualified through rating, and much of that is due to the last few years of performance, and certainly not since his broken streak. He's still very young in chess terms, so will definitely get another chance when he's in better form, but for this tournament, I don't think he's in the right place. So that leads us on to 7th place. Grischuk, the guy who I think's got absolutely no chance, so he'll probably storm it and be like the tournament of his life. Alright, let me, sorry, I just got to update my notes. Grischuk, where are you hiding? There you are. So he qualified second in the FIDE Grand Prix, and I state he has 0 chance to win this. Well, that's what I said on Twitch, so I guess I'm going to stick with it. For years, this guy has been amazing, great attacker and skillful defender, but has never fulfilled his potential. I know he is a good poker player, so perhaps that led him slightly astray. You get distracted. Poker's probably got a fair amount of money in it as well. Sorry, I'm still flicking through some screens. Recent years, he's had his big wins have come in blitz tournaments and rapid tournaments, and it wasn't that long ago he was world blitz champion. But of course, the candidates are as far from blitz as I am from being a GM. The thing is, he did qualify for a slightly tougher route than some of the other guys, so maybe he's fully focused this time to give his best, and then he'll prove me and many other doubters wrong. To be honest, there was only one other player who disappointed me more from Russia, and that's the great Morozovich. Just think what could have been. And that leads us on to 6th place finish. I think Ding Luring. He qualified, coming second at the Chess World Cup, which I mentioned for another guy later on in the countdown. Probably the World Cup is about right for what's going to happen in the candidates format, as in you play two games in a mini match against your opponent. So, he came second in the World Cup, where that was the format pretty much the whole way through, though he did get through a few rounds with rapid play games. But, you never know. He's China's current number 1, and he's 3 times Chinese champion. And he could be a dark horse. I personally haven't been following his career so closely, having been more interested in Wei Yi's rise to power. That kid will be huge. You heard it here first. Of course, you've heard that before. But you don't get to be top of the Chinese rankings by a fluke. They're a nation which is just a power horse in chess in recent years. They've won the Olympiad, I think, just before the Americans, and they're always up there. One thing I will say is Carlsen recently totally owned him in a blitz match. I know it's blitz, but it's not a good start out to have fear of the world champion. Even if you get through, he's not going to forget how many times he got battered. So that's if he gets through, which is, I think, fairly unlikely. And that leads us on to who I think will finish 5th. And we have our wild card. It was towards the end of the qualifying period, he was very touch and go whether he would qualify through rating. But I think they must have told him that the wild card option was there, because he basically didn't seem to try to get the points he needed. So I think he already knew that he was going to get a chance. And he is obviously ex-world champion, and sadly for me, he's a Kasparov negator. Taking Kasparov's throne was a bit disappointing, especially the way he did it. But you know what? He beat Kasparov. I mean, you deserve to be world champion if you beat Kasparov. Doesn't matter how you do it. Berlin defenses left, right, and centre. I'd be world champion. Be quite happily take that if I played the most boring chess in the world and I got to be world champion. Which has changed in recent years. Gone are the days of his all-conquering Catalan and general knight f3 every game. And he started playing a few games with e4 and decent mating attacks against decent GMs. I don't know if you guys have watched him in open tournaments. He really does try to win. So I think open tournaments have been good for chess in general in recent years. The closed tournaments being interesting because the top players are playing each other, and this is one of them in the candidates. But generally, they're more exciting when they have to play lower rated players and have to risk a bit to win. And he's got that, which maybe people didn't see until recent years. The guy is pure class. Though he's not the dominant player of yesteryear, he still has the ability to upset the younger upstarts, and I'd think it'd give Magnus a real run for his money should he somehow find his way through. He's been there, he's got the signed World Championship t-shirt, and none of the others have that in the field. Can he roll back the years and once again challenge for the biggest prize in chess? Well, we'll see. I think he's got a chance, and that's why I think originally I jumped to him when I was got caught out on my Twitch. Though I'm not taking back the Gristrick stuff. I'm not doing that. No. So I think Kramnik will finish in 5th. So we're getting to the money end of the of the tournament, where I think people, to be fair, these 4 places, they could be interchangeable, but I'm sticking with what I've said. So I think in 4th place we're going to have Fabiano. He qualified through rating average, so like I say, it's obviously he's played well over the last few years, so it's not the last year's average. I think it's 3 years or at least 2 years. So he stayed up the top, but it's not through any tournament play or anything like that, which is where I think if you qualified through tournaments, you may be a little bit more battle hardened. But anyway, now this guy is frustrating, right? Any that have followed this chap, and I have since his precocious 2400 FIDE when he was an Italian, who, like Wesley Slowe, looked to have the chess world at his feet when he moved to America and got proper funding. Many big strides were made quickly, and now he's comfortably one of the elite, and of course a big challenger for the candidates. Mucho respect for him in the last candidates as well, in playing ultra aggressively as black in a one-hit and hope game against the eventual challenger Sergey, but he ultimately fell short. But it was brave, he didn't really play the Nadorf, and he went for it, and fair play to Sergey, because maybe people didn't think he could win an attacking game of chess. Well, he certainly did in that game. Will this be his year? Form suggests no, but he has it in him to annihilate top-class fields. But the Sinquefield Cup and 7 straight games that he won in that seems quite a while ago. Many in the whole of America will be rooting for this guy to be the challenger, and he has the game to fully take on Carlsen, but time will tell again. So, I'm fairly optimistic of he's definitely going to be the best of the two Americans. But we'll see. This is the fun of it. No one really knows. This is just prediction time. So, third place, I've gone for Shakir Mamedov. I've probably just destroyed his name, and I do apologise if somehow he ever gets to see this. He qualified coming first at the FIDE Grand Prix. Shaq Attack, as I affectionately call him, is another guy on great form, like Lev Aronian. His rating rise has been dramatic over the past year or so. He puts it down to 3 things. 3. Being married, not drinking, and exercising more. Well, I have one of those things, and my rating is a third of his, so that makes perfect sense. The guy plays exciting chess from both black and white, so we'll have excellent chances to get a decent plus score here. I think form and confidence go hand in hand with chess, and he has bucket loads. I expect him to challenge well in this tournament. I just wonder, as it's the biggest tournament of his life, whether the inexperience will work against him. I mean, obviously, he's played in top tournaments, but nothing like this. So we will see. Leaving to a tough one for first and second. You're obviously going to know who's first when you see who's second. But it was tough, I've got to say. And the reason I put this guy up, I mean, no one talks about this guy. I don't get it. He did so well the last candidates. Anyway, I'll talk through what I've written, and then maybe I'll discuss some more about him. He's qualified because he was the last time challenger. No one expected Sergey, affectionately called Carjacking, to win the last candidates, and this time around, no one's talking about him again. This is shocking, because he went through the last tournament with real fighting chess, turning around lost positions and winning when given the chance. When he did play Carlsen, again I think everyone was surprised how well he did. Let's face it, Carlsen was unable to beat him in a classical match, and it was only the rapid playoffs that decided the match, something that didn't sit well with Carlsen fans, myself included. So yeah, I mean, this guy, I don't know. I mean, he was at one time, I don't know if he still is, but he was definitely at one time the world's youngest GM. And his career has been spectacular. I mean, he's been Blitz world champion, Rapid world champion, and he drew the match with Carlsen. I mean, that's a massive shock. He was winning that match. I mean, he had a little bit of a choke, unfortunately, because he was up in a few other games, and I think his game plan was literally just win by +1. So when he finally lost a game, I think he felt a little bit unstable there, and then just went really into Minister of Defence mode. But he had Carlsen's number over, was it 10 or 12 games? I can't remember which it was now. So yeah, this guy, I mean, there's no reason why he won't do exactly the same thing again. Play solid chess and grind out over 120 move win. I mean, that's what he does. He'll sit there, he'll take all the battering, and then if you give him a chance, he'll take it. So this guy is dangerous and could easily win it again. There's only one guy who I think who could wipe the field if he's still on form, and that's this guy, Levon Aronian. The guy, he's just, last year and a half has just been so fun to watch. He qualified first at the Chess World Cup. He had a storm in 2017. For me, he's playing the most interesting chess and using one of my favourite maneuvers in getting a rook swinger into action sometimes from some surprising positions. He recaptured his missing rating points. He went for a bit of phase of didn't seem to care about chess, and he looks like his old dominant, self-confident best. I think the candidate format will be right up his street. let's face it, he won the World Cup, which is similar format of two classical games against each other, a bit like Ding Liren, but better because he beat him. So he will feel the most comfortable in winning these mini matches, I think. He's my mum's favourite player and currently mine too. So go Lev. I have actually picked out 3 of his games where he does do. Well, it's a bit of a giveaway, but he does do some rook manoeuvres. But just to show you how well this guy is playing and how he can just attack and he's just a genius. So let's just skip back a bit. This is him battering Anish Giri, who at the time was drawing quite a few games. I know he recently actually stopped drawing and started winning, which is, Tata still was something for him. But here's a game from the Grand Prix last year in Mallorca, where the water doesn't taste quite like it water. I'm going to skip through the beginning because I don't really know openings, as you'll find out when I do my candidates commentary on Saturday. But let me just it's like an English. It is an English, but anyway, we'll just skip through it to get to the important part. I have noted, I've looked at quite a few of his games before I did this video, and the open H file for this guy, he's just a master with it. And it's unusual because I must say I don't really look at the English that often, but in a lot of the games he manages to open that H file and don't bother castling until the last second or not at all, and he gets some great attacks. So a bit more manoeuvring, boop-a-doop-doo, keep chucking pawns up the board, why the hell not? He is Leveronian, fear him. Queen's coming over, sacks the knight, who needs a knight? Queen's in, uh-oh, king's on the run, here comes the rook manoeuvre, and bang, king goes there, and queen's trap. Obviously, he can't take the pawn, he can't go here because he gets taken, can't go here, he gets taken. If he takes the pawn, then simple rook. D1 and game over. And he just battered one of the best defensive players there is. So I've got 2 more games because I've just got to show how great this guy is. And this is actually against one of the other guys in the qualification, so in the candidates. So this guy will again fear him when he comes to the white side of it. So I'm sure he's looked at it, but still the way Lev attacks is just beautiful. And I'm not a D4 player, but he's a guy who might convert me. Sorry, I'm just chuckling because I don't think Ding Liren was expecting G4 here. But anyway, off he goes. G4, G5, Gary attack, and here comes Harry too. The king's shifted over. Oh, I must be safe. Oh man, this I love the finish of this game. Oh no, I've just realised that Aronia's black. Oh, what a faux pas. I'm going to have to start again. No! You know what, I'm not going to start again. Screw it. I'm just going to change what I was saying. This is the fun of commentary, eh? When you mess something up, you just got to keep fighting through. I'll be doing this a lot on Saturday when I have to do a lot of backtracking. So Lev is actually black. I picked black because otherwise it's all white games. So sorry, and there is going to be a rook swing, and it is black who does it. But I reckon he was fairly surprised when Gary was coming up the board. And if anything, this highlights that Ding Liren is quite an aggressive player. Even D4, D5, which tends to be quite stodgy. He's obviously, no, I'm going to try and crush you. So carry on, as if nothing happened, and this was a perfect video. Lev gets his king out of the way. Okay, the rook's gone. Counter sack, rook check. Here comes the swing. Thank you very much. So no pawns in front of the king, but the rook is mega active. A rook swing of Ding's own. Obviously not. Rook takes rook. I think this gets mated. I'm pretty sure. Just have a quick look. Check goes here. Oh, maybe it's not. Because originally when I was looking at this, I thought it could go here and then there was bishop here. But the bishop's pinned the whole time. So there's no mate. Get rid of the analysis. Yeah, basically there's just no way to stop this pin. This pin is beautiful. Though I did show a way where the queen could get to G1. I don't think it gets that far. Just moves his king, check, no more checks. Kings are absolutely safe there. There's nothing. Okay, so you can defend with rook up. And then there must be something fairly crushing. Well, I mean, apart from just taking the rook from being a rook up, that's a good start. There's this game's dead, and completely because of the rook attacking. Right, see if I can just get this one right. Maybe I pay attention to the names at the beginning of the game. So this again, it's against another one of the challenges. So again, spin through d4 because I don't really understand it. Do. Here comes the rook attacks. Doubles them up. You think, oh well, doubled up rooks, not really doing anything. You know, the f pawn's defended. Now the rook's involved. Still involved. And takes the pawn. g3, attacking the rook. So obviously the pawn's still pinned. And this is a fantastic little interference move. It blocks the queen's defense of h8. So if, say, queen takes, he's got a really, really nice quiet move here. Just rook retreating, because this square is death. So say, you know, there's a few lines here, I guess, but say black takes the pawn, just queen here, and there's no avoiding the mate. So there's mate in 1 at the moment, so the king runs. Check. King comes down. Queen check. If king goes up, sorry, if king goes here, then rook check, king d7, and rook d8 checkmate. So the only defense is this. I mean, his position's just falling apart, to be honest. How do we win here? I think it might even still be the same move, actually, funny enough. How does he stop this? This looks deadly. Still mate here, so we'd have to stop the mate. Is there any other way to stop the mate? I can take a pawn with check. That's just check, and you just move the king out the way, and then there's no more checks. Nope. So he could try to defend this way. I'm pretty sure the other rook's going to come in here. He's just deaf. Where does he go? Where can he go? Has to go here. I think you've got lots of choices. Rook check wins the rook on c8, or rook check here. It's just over. There's mate coming. So the guy, he just knows how to attack. So I am totally hyped for this. I can't wait. I hope you are too. As I say, I'm going to actually try to do some commentary on this. It'll probably be terrible, but I'll be really excited about it. So if you want some enthusiasm and not so good moves, then please join me. I'll be on Twitch probably about 2 o'clock when it starts. So just come and find me on there. I'm Chesspatzer UK. But for now, let's go Team Lev, and I can't wait. I hope it's exciting. I hope there's loads of dramatic games, and you know, a nice dramatic finish where there's the way of it right from the beginning. But even then, hopefully they'll get caught. Can't wait, guys. Can't wait. Speak to you soon.